So in this video, I'm going to be going over how basically over the past 2 years roughly, I've improved my play style and just my overall movement, out of shield option, usage, and a lot of stuff like that. Some of it's going to be a little bit character specific, kind of based on the fact that some of these questions are from one of my friends who's also getting into this game and is just trying to get better, so this video is kind of for him. But I feel like there's going to be a good amount of useful information for most skill levels. Maybe not like, you know, high and top level players, but for sure if you consider yourself a mid-level player, this video could definitely be for you. But one of the first things he asked me about was out of shield options and basically how to use them. So picked Zelda here to use her neutral B. And as you can see there, if I run up and I'm shielding her neutral B, I can punish it with Nair even if I'm not like touching her shield completely. Another thing to understand with this, however, is even though I am punishing the move with Nair, which is frame 3, it's a very laggy move, which is why I'm able to do it even if it's not immediately as I come out of shield. However, if someone hits you with, like, say, their Nair that's -5 on shield, and I try and use Doc Nair to drift over to them, even though it's going to be like frame 6 out of shield, it's not going to be able to hit them if I have to drift over to them, because it'll add several extra frames, making their move safe on shield. Another thing to understand with out of shield options, however, is even though I am able to punish Zelda's neutral B with Nair, it might not be the best option, because I could probably get an F smash if I shielded it at the right time, and potentially even an up smash, so you have to be aware of the frame data and go for an optimal punish with the character you're using. And a common mistake that I see mid-level players make is they're not buffering out of shield, they drop shield first and then aerial or grab. And if you're doing that, you are going to have a lot harder time punishing things, because the shield drop animation is going to add, I think it's 11 frames to whatever move you're doing. So if I'm going from a shield grab, which is like frame 10, I believe, to a shield drop grab, it's going to be like frame 17, which is a huge difference in a game like Smash. So the whole out of shield option thing kind of ties in with the next topic I wanted to talk about, which is frame data. And as I was mentioning before, you have, you know, Doc's Nair, which is a 3-frame move, and it's like -3 on shield, stuff like that. Zelda neutral B, I don't know what frame this comes out on, but it's very unsafe on shield. I don't know the exact number. I think it's like -20 something. Stuff like that is kind of stuff you're going to need to understand in order to improve at the game, and a way you can do that is by looking it up on Ultimate Frame Data, which is a very useful website that I've used a lot just to look at characters' frame data and generally learn it over the years. But the way I go about doing it when I'm looking at a specific character is I look at their aerials and then give it a generalization of like how safe they are and how easy I'll be able to punish it and what moves I'll be able to punish it. So for example, in the Falcon Little Mac matchup for frame data wise, Little Mac's not going to be using a lot of aerials if you know anything about this game. He, you know, will throw out the occasional Nair, forward air, up air, but you don't really have to worry about that too much on shield. In the Little Mac matchup, the thing you're going to want to mostly look out for is his tilts, and his tilts are some of his best moves, obviously. They're fairly safe on shield, pretty quick, pretty strong, and you can space them pretty well. But in this matchup, Falcon doesn't have very good out of shield options for him, because Little Mac is not the tallest character, so Nair isn't going to work out of shield too good. Back air is going to be too high to hit him. I could fast fall, but then that's a lot slower. Up air obviously isn't going to work. Down air can work, but that's pretty situational. But the main thing that I'm going to be doing against Little Mac when he's tilting my shield is up B out of shield, because that's really the only option Falcon has for out of shield in this matchup. So out of shield and frame data tie in together a lot, because to know what you're going to do out of shield, you have to know what you can use out of shield, which requires frame data knowledge and all sorts of stuff like that. So basically, to kind of cover both of those, if you are maining a character or you have a couple characters, I suggest that, let's say you run across a character in Elite Smash and you want to know what you can use against them for out of shield options, then go to your character's frame data and your opponent's character's frame data and see what you can do out of shield. So for this next bit, I wanted to mainly talk about patience and how important that is in basically every aspect of Smash and trying to get better. And one thing I asked a pro player, Nick C, if you know who he is, Falcon player, pretty well known. I asked him what was one thing he did to get better from going from like a high level player to a top level player. And he said that patience was one of the biggest things that he had to kind of learn how to do. And it seems weird because you think you could just play more patient and then boom, you're good, but it's something that you have to learn situationally, because you can't just be patient all the time. You have to choose when to go in, but patience is where that comes into play, because then you wait for the moment to go in and you're just observing what they're doing while you're waiting and trying to understand what option they're going to choose, and then you have to figure out how you can beat that option. I just want to pick out a couple examples in this game. Like right there, the Wii Fit trainer waited on the ground for me, realizing that I have a burst option like Falcon Kick to land, which is very laggy and punishable, and he just literally stood in place waiting for me to do that specifically, and I did. And he got the kill for it at a reasonably early percent. But also on the other side of that, he was being patient. I wasn't really. I just wanted to land, get out of the air, because I hate Wii Fit up air. So I try and get down as quick as possible. And I wasn't really looking at what he was doing, but if I just looked and saw that he was standing still, I probably would have had a better chance of not Falcon kicking straight to the ground, ultimately leading to my death. And another thing that I kind of did right there with the early side B that got punished by his neutral B is just going to ledge as quick as possible is not always the best option. You usually want to wait and try and go to ledge from a low recovery, and obviously that's something you have to mix up, which is something I'll probably be mentioning several times, is mix-ups are huge. But again, situational awareness, you got to know when to do the right option or the patient option, which usually is going to be the better one. Now, it might have been a little bit more subtle right there where I got the grab, but I waited in the corner to see what moves he was throwing out, knowing that he generally likes to pressure my jumps. And this is my brother, I should say, so I have a lot of habits down on him, and he does on me, so we generally have pretty quick games because we're usually punishing each other's options pretty hard, and we know what each other are doing most of the time. So I waited in that scenario for him to throw out a move and land, and I got the grab for it, which ultimately led to a good amount of damage. And that's just another instance of where you have to be patient and wait for them to do something that you can punish. Another thing that comes along with patience and learning when to do it is observing the person's habits. And right there, he air dodged out of a combo, which he does a good amount of the time. And right there, I could have just waited and gotten another hit for it, or preemptively charge an up smash knowing that he likes to do it, or just sit and wait on the ground and try and get an optimal punish if possible. In that instance, I wasn't patient and I didn't get punished for it, but I also could have gotten a lot more if I was patient. That little clip right there. The Wii Fit was not patient. Just holding in that instance and just trying to get back to stage by holding in gets you killed a lot of the time, and if you're around our skill level, then that is something you probably know. But if you don't, yeah, holding in combos like that is what's going to get you killed at ridiculously early percents. So to kind of tie up the whole patience aspect, you are going to have to learn when to be patient with basically every option you have, because sometimes you want to wait to jump, sometimes you want to wait to do an out of shield option, sometimes you want to wait to get out of shield, sometimes you want to wait to roll, wait to get off a ledge. There's so many situations where you can be patient, and looking for all of those is a very huge thing in improving. Another thing I kind of wanted to quickly talk about, that me and my friend had a little discussion about, is just trying new things. If you're like playing online in a tournament setting, might not be the best idea to go for it, but if you're just playing friendlies or just playing online, trying something new to see if it works is a great idea, because you're just playing online and you don't really have to worry about anything. It's, you know, just for GSP, or if it's just a friendly, it's literally for nothing. So trying something new is one of the big things that you want to do to improve, and just learning what works and seeing how it beats their option and how you can apply it with different characters and different matchups. So in this little clip I'm about to show you, I am in an online tournament, and it's game 3, 1-1, and earlier this game, the Zero Suit Samus air dodged in on one of my down airs, and for the final kill to win the game, after coming from a deficit, I go for the air dodge read and then get another down air into a knee off of it for the game win. And this was all because I paid attention to what his basic panic option is. Like, when he thinks he's going to die, what's he going to do? And it just happened that he air dodged that way, and I decided to go for that option read, and it worked out and got me the win for the tournament and the set. So basically, one thing that you can pay attention to that's pretty easy to do actually and implement right away is looking for their first panic option out of combos usually, or sometimes you can do it off a ledge too. Like, a lot of people like to jump as soon as they grab ledge if they're kind of panicking, and then you can go for a read off of that and then get the kill. But yeah, looking for the first panic option they do and then trying to read that in another situation is a very good thing to do. And just in general, looking for ledge habits, seeing what they do in response to something you do. And that's another area where trying new things could come in handy, like just running to center stage and then running back. A lot of people like to neutral get up after that for some reason. It's basically just bait and punish. But yeah, trying new things with edge trapping and looking for basic options off of something you did or in reaction to something you did is a really good way to improve. So that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, feel free to like it. If you liked it a lot, feel free to subscribe, all that good stuff. But a few more things, basically the main takeaways, if you're just going to focus on a few things from this video, I'd highly suggest you focus on patience, learning when to be patient and how to apply it to your overall gameplay. Learning frame data and just generalizing it against characters that you might not do too good against most of the time. And punishing options after a safe move or safe option that they choose. So if they up smash out of shield and then spot dodge and you keep whiffing the grab because they spot dodge, then you should be punishing the spot dodge and not the up smash. Stuff like that, whole bunch of examples. And trying new things, like, that's just so big. If you keep trying new stuff, you'll keep figuring out new things that work and figuring out what stuff doesn't work, which are equally important for every matchup in the game. So if you stick to learning those things and keep trying, I guarantee you, you will get better as long as you're focusing on the way you're playing and being open to improvements. So yeah, go out there, win those locals, ask for advice, keep getting better. See you next time.